Good morning, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another Simple Man's Rant in wrestling. In this week, I'll be discussing everything I have seen from Friday, September the 27th, up to Friday, October the 4th. Boy, has it been a week in wrestling. So, Impact Wrestling last week, it had, of course, the wedding of Brian Cage and Melissa Santos, and we all know wrestling weddings don't go wrong. Right? They never go without a hitch. Well, that wasn't so much the case when friggin' breakaway bottle shot from the draw Simi Callahan after toasting the bride and the beep, basically, and he thrashes Melissa Santos with a breakaway bottle, I like to think. I had to imagine that bottle was gimmick, but boy, was that a spectacle. Also, Tessa Blanchard, she's still trailblazing herself through intergender type wrestling as she is now involved in the X Division 5-way ladder match at Bound for Glory, as she has qualified now for it. Even after all the shenanigans by OVE, and boy, did OVE get the last word though, as Mammon Fulton just literally chokeslammed the hell out of her. Boy, can she take some punishment. I really feel like eventually they're going to set up Tessa Blanchard to be Impact World Heavyweight Champion, and it wouldn't surprise me if Tessa wins the Bound for Glory and catches in Option C. In fact, maybe I'm already spectating. We'll have to see. Next up, that was my biggest highlight from Impact Wrestling. I mean, they always have great stuff. The tag team action with Conan getting Rhino and, RVD a tag team title opportunity after being in the North. Conan doing different things. LAX is no longer in Impact Wrestling. Always fun to watch. Glad he's still doing stuff there. But following that, I got to tune in to Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Once again, Ring of Honor put up a killer wrestling pay-per-view. Love the technical marvel between Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal trying to restore the idea of fighting with honor in Jonathan Gresham. After one point, he was about to grab a chair. And he's like, this is the way you want to win? This is the way you want to win? Eventually, he convinced them no, and they two just brawled on the outside of the ring. But after working his hand, the arm, Jonathan Gresham got him in an octopus lock and really just extended the arm. That looked brutal. And he ended up with the win. Other surprises in that night included but not limited to both champs having the same exact days in their reigns, Kelly Klein and Matt Taven, 174, and losing their titles. Of course, Angela Love had to cheat using Botox. It took two of those, though, the Botox injections. And even after Kelly Klein hit K-Power, she kicked out. That was surprising. But, of course, Manny Leon, numbers game came to play, and hairspray. And unfortunately, eventually, Angela Love is once again a champion now, which I find very interesting. Shane Taylor now doing his own thing on a, contract by basis with his Ring of Honor World TV title, defending it in what was going to be a triple threat, returning to a failed four-way with the addition of Dragon Lee. That was unexpected. And successfully, he defended it, but Dragon Lee says, I'm not done with you yet, I'm coming for that title. But right now, Shane Taylor holds all the cards as Flip Gordon and Tracy Williams. They basically just went at each other and cost each other that match. I thought the tag team title match between the Briscoes, them boys, and Lifeblood was a highlight to behold as Bandito and Mark Haskins, they put on a freaking clinic. Came so close. And of course they fought with honor, which I respect. You can only respect the Briscoes, man. One of the best tag teams in the world. And then Bully Ray comes out, and I wonder if this means that Vicky Haskins is going to get involved in Ring of Honor. Maybe confront Bully Ray, maybe be part of Women of Honor. I think that would be interesting. But I guess time will tell because Flip Gordon came out and basically took out Tracy Williams. Oh, it looked like he was going to go after Bully Ray. But he's like, nah, here you go. Yeah, Flip Gordon, definitely Villain Enterprises, strictly. Remember, Flip Gordon and Bully Ray, they were going at each other for the longest time. So this really surprised me. And basically, after a slap, Mark Haskins gets planted through a table. And Vicky Haskins jumps the rails and gets escorted out by security. Why is Bully Ray doing this? This I find really weird, but whatever. And then, I must say that Matt Taven versus Roos was a very impressive physical bout. I mean, these two got history going all the way back to CMLL when Bruce cost literally Matt Taven his hair. And these two left everything out there, from bull's horns to climax to just the tip. They fought outside the ring, in and out of the ring, in front of Roos's son and his father and brother, Dragon Lee, that were sitting at ringside. Both of them brought the fight, shared insults, and in the end, Roos hanged up Matt Taven. Matt Taven never defiant, though. He said, "You're going to finish me, you better do it now." And he did. Roos won with the Bull's Horns, and Roos became Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. So now we got 2 new champions in Ring of Honor. Also, I hope Maria Manic destroys Angelina Love. I did not want Angelina Love to win this title. Damn it. I thought Ring of Honor Defenders Honor, that was a really great show from top to bottom. I just enjoy wrestling overall. By the way, the opening match between Brody King and Jeff Cobb, that was quite a battle of the Juggernauts. If you haven't seen it, go see it. You can see it for free. So moving on from there, we go to Fighting Spirit Unleashed, which emanated from New York, and it was Tiger Hattori's basically send-off, as this guy has been a referee for New Japan Pro Wrestling now for 40 years. 40 years in the business. You can only have tremendous respect for someone like that. And I remember his match he ref between Kazuchika Okada and Marty Scurll back at All In. I'm really glad I got to see that match. I think that was probably my most recent bout I saw of him as ref. But he played as ref here during a 6-man tag between the Rock and Roll Express and the A's of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Come up with a name for that trio as a band. Versus, of course, Bullet Club. And in the end, oh, it wasn't that Bullet Club. It was LIJ, excuse me. In the end, though, the team of the Ace and the Rockers, they won. And I think that was the right way to go with that match. A lot of people give Yoshihashi slack, but I thought he and Kenta had a very impressive match. In fact, I think it was the longest one on the card. You really wonder if Yoshihashi will ever get gold at this point, though. But in the end, Kenta retained, not through a submission hold, but with his patented go to sleep, even after Bullet Club antics with GOD try to come into play. And Tiger Hattori basically dragging them out like a father dragging his kids out of the ring. It's like, no, you can't get involved in this. Go to the back. I won't allow this. Mad respect to Tiger Hattori. But I thought this was the best match on the card. However, the show closed with Kazuchika Okada and Kota Ibushi versus Evil and Sonata. As you know, all 4 men will be involved at King of Pro Wrestling in 2 top-tier highlight matches. Probably the top 2 matches being highlighted at King of Pro Wrestling coming up. Anyway, the outcome surprised me, with Evil actually getting the win over Kota Ibushi. You would think Kazuchika Okada would be the guy to close the show in New York, because he's their champion. But I guess he didn't get pinned, and Sonata didn't get the win over Okada in this match, so it just leaves more to desire. So it just tells you right there that Evil is a guy you should not overlook. And I know Evil speaks a little bit of English, so I was not surprised to hear him speak a little bit of English here. Anyway, Evil wins with Everything is Evil, pinning Kota Ibushi. And Evil and Kota, of course, will face for the certificate to face for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom at King of Pro Wrestling, which I cannot wait for. I'm extremely excited. Still, I believe, 2 weeks away. Anyway, Evil closes with the show saying, New York is evil. Everything is evil. I must say after that, though, going back to Ring of Honor, I know they had their Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor Fallout, and we continued our Ring of Honor Final Battle tournament where we find out that Jay Lethal beat PJ Black and Darren Castle beat Mark Haskins. Oh, by the way, no disrespect to Colt Cabana. Dude can go, but I'm glad Marty Scurll advanced during Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. And what was Amy Rose thinking calibrating PCO? Literally looked like he was malfunctioning. You literally reorganized his circuitry. Kenny King just being choke slammed to death, it seemed, in the map. Nowhere to go, nowhere to get out. And PCO won that match. By the way, Jim Johnson with the custom for PCO. I love that new Sharker theme. If Jim Johnson is exclusively only doing customs, I think that's pretty awesome. But if he was to go to company, I would actually love to see him be involved in Ring of Honor. I feel like just with the brand itself, the old school type mentality and feeling with his themes goes best there. Otherwise, go to AEW. But I digress. WWE, you really, really dropped the ball letting that guy go. Anyway, we also get Matt Taven. Because Matt Taven, we think his contract is up. He's going to go somewhere else. Maybe NXT. Maybe AEW. Nope. Despite what everyone feels about Matt Taven calling us Melvins and how everyone feels about the Kingdom. By the way, that freaking barroom brawl, throwing darts in a man's back, that was sick. Jesus. Anyway, Matt Taven says he is Ring of Honor. There's still a lot more stuff he has left to do, and he will get his title back, and his kingdom will rise again. So Matt Taven is exclusively signed and staying with Ring of Honor Wrestling. And I respect him, actually. I respect that a lot. Because you think about people going like, oh, my contract's up. I'm going to go here and make the most money. Some people are in it for more than the money. Some people respect the dates, the atmosphere, and the setup. So Matt Taven, he is Ring of Honor. I respect him. Anyway, Ring of Honor, it was more a recap this week, as you know, because all their pay-per-views always include matches that they showcase on the weekly shows. And we basically got recaps of Deny or Defy while Matt Taven was champ, and he won that. A bunch of other stuff as well. Ring of Honor weekly broadcasting always confuses me. Then we get into Premiere Week for WWE. New sets, new themes, you would think new promos, new storylines, new matches, the return of Pyro, and new announced teams. Well, we got most of that. Starting with Monday Night Raw, I must say I enjoyed the Pyro. I'm glad to see that back. But seriously, was Darby Allin or Tony Hawk involved in the creation of this set? You literally just merged a Titantron with a Titantron, had a curved angle, and the entranceway not even centered. This was lazy and lackadaisical to me. But, I mean, it's a new feel. And it's awesome to see Pyro back. And I will never, ever down something that uses Skillet. Skillet has awesome music. I thought Dio Man and Vic Joseph had very great chemistry here. Jerry the King Lawler, he's obviously there to help push these young guns, even though Paul Heyman was against it. I wonder who Paul Heyman wanted in that third seat, or if he wanted anybody in that third seat. But I digress. Anyway, Raw, the only real takeaway I have was really the opening, with Rey Mysterio hyping up his match against Seth Rollins for the Universal title that was close to close the show. However, I thought it was going to be your typical run-of-the-mill. He comes out, I come out, we jab, and then impromptu match gets made. It was anything but that, with Brock Lesnar coming in, and as Paul was about to do his shtick, Ray grabbed the microphone back from Paul, which apparently infuriated the Beast, and gets F5 for his troubles. So, of course, I expect, the whole Brock beatdown. Brock doesn't say anything. Brock the Silent Killer, Suplex City involved. But then we see Dominic, who's at ringside, literally gets pulled by the Beast, and basically pulls the John Cena dad spot, where he just gets destroyed. He goes back first into the turnpost. He gets slammed on the floor. He gets suplexed and suplexed. I think the only thing his son didn't take was an F5. But I must say, this was a really great opener, and it really went against the normal grain. But here in Jerry the King Lawler as a face commentator, I am not used to that. I feel like DM was definitely finding his place, certainly as the tallest in the team. The rest of the show was pretty meh to me, kind of forgettable. I really didn't find anything really else to take away from this, except for the fact that I guess you got blood money being set up, but I really don't care about that. I'm not going to watch. Of course, that was the biggest angle hype, because you got nostalgia, you got jabs of words between Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and apparently Blood Money is now taking the Survivor Series angle, the traditional 5-on-5 match being set up, or maybe you could call this more of a Captain's Choice match, between Team Flair and Team Hogan. And of course, we have Seth out there, so I guess Wildcard is in play here. Wildcard still matters. And he is the captain for Team Hogan, while Orton is the captain of Team Flair. We already got the first two men on each team. It is Rusev and Seth, and Orton and Corbin on each team respectively. Yeah, who's going to call that? Really didn't care. Moving on from Monday Night Raw, I mean, the other big thing, Firefly Funhouse. That always makes me laugh. That always entertains me. Clearly the Fiend is in Seth's head. And we close with that angle of the Fiend dropping Seth. And apparently they're doing Temptation Island build-up or hype. I don't know, because Lana now is cheating on Rusev with Bobby Lashley, and the two have tonsil hockey. Ugh. Is this a Paul Heyman idea, seriously? Is he responsible for the storyline between the freaking who's the baby's daddy as well? I mean, this is what this all is going into, right? Maury Povich has got to be coming on this show eventually. It's just got to happen. What the hell is WWE doing? But I digress. Anyway, moving on from there, though, Tuesday actually gave us an announcement from the NWA, from the Hard Rock Cafe, bringing on their new internet-based weekly series live, Power. So NWA Power will, of course, be broadcast from Fight TV on demand, but also it's free and on premiere on the NWA's YouTube page every week, starting October 8th. I'm actually looking forward to this. I respect the NWA. Ever since I talked with Jeff Meach a little bit about it, my first exposure for it, the Crockett Cup, but I followed Nick Aldis for a while and Camille. I'm really looking forward to what they do with Eli Drake, James Storm being their national champ now. I know they got new tag team champions. It's no longer Villain Enterprises. PCO's eyes looked weird, by the way, during his entrance. I don't know if that was just the way the camera was or stuff in his eyes. And I like the fact they're going back to the old school feel with the NWA Women's Championship, where it's now The champ is in the center via picture versus a nameplate. I think it's really cool. Hasn't been done since the 1930s. Allison Kay has got some major shoes to fill as she is taking over from the now vacated champion Jazz due to injury, where she held the title for over 900 plus days. James Storm, Eli Drake, I see them going after each other. The new NWA World Tag Team Champions, the Wild Cards, and of course you have the leader of the NWA right now with the World Heavyweight Champion, the National Treasure, Nick Aldis. So I'm looking very forward to what this could become, and if y'all want to watch this, it will be, of course, premiering live 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, October 8th, on their Facebook account and the NWA YouTube channel. And I certainly will be watching this and looking forward to this. Then we get to the best night of the week, in my opinion. The Wednesday Night War Week 1. Boy, did both shows bring it. AEW Dynamite's premiere on TNT and the special limited commercial interruption version of NXT live on the USA Network. So I ended up simulcasting both shows. This is the first time in my life I actually cared about seeing two shows at once to see what both shows would bring, and I also cared about what the ratings would be. I finally have a reason to go to Showbiz Daily. Go figure. Anyway, AEW Dynamite with the hot opener, Sammy Guevara and Cody, that set up the story for the entire night after the post-match attack with Chris Jericho. The weakest point of AEW Dynamite was definitely the women's match. I felt like there was a lot of botches here, but kudos to the women. Just keep going and basically try and work off those botches. The crowd was red hot the entire night, too. My goodness, what an atmosphere. Pac and Heyman Page, that match finally happened. It was an amazing back-and-forth bout. He almost got with a buckshot lariat, but Earl Hebner, oh man, Earl almost got attacked. Ref turned back turn. Pac with the low blow, right in the crown jewels. It was so nostalgic also hearing Tony Schiavone and good old JR on commentary. Excalibur, though, carries the show with a lot of play-by-play, too. Tony Schiavone calling wrestling on TNT since 2001. That was extremely fun. And then we get our closing angle with the six-man tag. We also got hype for the tag team championship tournament, too, with Private Party, Jack Anderson, and Helico going at each other. But, of course, Private Party is facing the Young Bucks next week. We were wondering what sort of comeback we were going to get, and we got like a Marvel-type entrance from the Elite of Omega and the Bucks. And the six-man tag was on between Chris Jericho and his two mystery partners revealed to be Santana and Ortiz, the former LAX. And it was a great match, but the story wasn't the match. It was the angle. Because who comes out during the match? Jon Moxley. And he attacks Kenny Omega, and for a period we get teasers of, oh, maybe the Cleaners returning when they go all the way to a VIP area and a mop comes into play and he whacks Moxley in the back with a mop, only for Omega to be literally death ride into, of course, gimmick, but still a glass table head first. Ouch. And literally we go now to this being a handicap match. There's some logical during the show, though. Wouldn't that have been disqualification? Would the match just been thrown out? I was confused, but I still love the angle. The Moxley just yelling, say something! Say something now! It's going to be interesting how this develops. As you know, Omega and Moxley are going to face each other at AEW Full Gear. We go back to the match, and Nick gets a hot tag. He literally just goes after everybody, and boy, this seemed like they could win. But the numbers game finally caught up, and of course, led by the champion, Chris Jericho. He gets a Judas effect, and the Young Bucks and Omega lose. And then we get post-match beatdown, because, why not? And basically, this leads to our angle of the night, where Cody comes out, attacks Chris Jericho, trying to get his redemption from the show attack from earlier. I love also how the cube one was going to be, like, picture by picture, or going to be commercial, or going to try and keep up with this action and organize things. I thought AEW Dynamite was well structured for its first show, for the most part. Between everything they hyped up in the matches, and keeping us up with the action, and letting us know what's to come next. And I thought commentary was really on point. Anyway, Cody, he looks like he's getting the advantage for a moment, or for Sammy Guevara to come out that he beat earlier in the night, and it's like, boom, low blow. And once again, they have the advantage, the heels does. We really are learning who the heel and the faces are in this. So far, establishing characters. I like this. And basically, we get Dustin coming out, even in the odds, and it looks like that Cody, Dustin, and the Bucks, they were getting the advantage until it's official. He's all elite. The debuting former Jack Swagger, Jake Hager, is now in AEW, and he comes out and destroys everybody, literally looking like an enforcer during this. And it looks like now we have a brand new faction, led by Chris Jericho. Talk about change the world, about change the universe. And that was our closing angle. Those 5 men standing tall over a destroyed Cody, Dustin, and Bucks in the middle of the ring. So it's going to be interesting to see where this 5-man faction goes from here. And we already got teasers of what's to come later via their social media page. But going to NXT, they really try to hype up everything with championship matches and a nice filler with Dunn and Birch. And of course, we had the Dream Experience. Good grief, how many more ladies can Dream fit at that couch? He had 8 this time. Everybody wants to be experiencing the Dream. Can you feel it? Dream is doing everything, pushing the boundaries between just, PG, TV-14, gay, eccentric, prince, charismatic character, etc. Good grief. And I guess the man, he wants his North American title back, which really surprised me. You'd think he would go after the top title. And, ironically, the top title star of the show, Matt Riddle and Adam Cole, baby, with one hell of a hot opener. Only for Cole to retain via the use of his cast in the last shot. Again, the prophecy remains intact at this point. For Finn Balor to return, the former NXT, longest reigning NXT champion, says that now Finn Balor is NXT. This was, in my opinion, one of, if not the hottest angles of the night. Following this, got great women's action with Io Shirai and Mia Yim. Mia Yim still cannot seem to pick up the win, and Io Shirai picks up the win for Asai Musa. I love this heel Io, by the way. If they do something like this with Asuka and Kairi, it would certainly make them relevant. Maybe they should just go back to NXT, but I digress. Anyway, fast forwarding through the show, Shayna Baszler retains in a great match against Candice LeRae. I'm so glad Candice is being showcased for her wrestling and more than just Johnny Gargano's wife. I'm glad she's taking this chance. I'm glad she's getting these opportunities. Johnny Wrestling, speaking of which, he beat Shane Foreman in a nice fun match, but come on. Nobody expected Shane Foreman to beat Johnny Gargano, especially when he claims he is NXT for life. And then moving on from there, fast forward, and we go all the way to the end with another clinic with Street Profits and Undisputed Era. I believe this is their 3rd clash now, 2nd for the title. Why was Wally out there? And can someone explain to me what "we want the smoke" means? Yeah, now you know what I am. Anyway, Undisputed Era, of course they retain. The prophecy remains in play. But the end angle, the guy that never lost the title, he had to relinquish it due to injury. The Blackheart is officially back in NXT. Tommaso Ciampa. And I could not be more excited to see this match come to fruition. And I really do hope it happens at War Games. In my opinion, he deserves that title back, or at least a rematch for it. We also get hyped now next week with Kushida and Walter officially being announced. Tegan Nox coming back from injury, sure to shine in NXT and NXT UK, which we'll get to shortly. And also now the Cruiserweight title will be defended in NXT, which I'm very happy about. Hashtag 205 Live Matters. And it is now officially renamed the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I wonder if this means the title will get a complete refresh too, like a black and gold now versus the purple leather. And also, what does this mean for 205 Live? Guess only time will tell. Anyway, as far as Winston at War goes, I'm not taking a side. I'm neutral. Both sides won. I know the Showbuzz rating, AEW Dynamite killed it being number 2, only losing to baseball, NXT being number 10. Bottom line is this. This is the best time to be a wrestling fan. I will care about ratings now every week, and I will be watching both of these shows going forward every week. But Wednesdays is officially AEW Dynamite. Thursdays are my NXT day. Simple as that. By the way, NXT apparently records now on Thursdays at 10 p.m. That's when they show the encore. Good grief. 10 to midnight now on Thursdays for NXT? Okay, I can handle that. Moving on from there, go to NXT UK, another stellar episode. We get hype build for Gallus versus Mark Andrews and Flashpoint and Webster, it seems, when they attack their coach and friend Mark Bird later on in the show. And Tegan Nox and Kaylee Ray, they brought it in a great main event. Tegan definitely is back up to power. I thought she had an incredible match. Great in-ring return. Better than that little debut squat she has. Selling the knee, I hope she's okay though. That freaking knee strike to the post. Ouch. And also we got, of course, more hype now for their women's division, as it looks like Piper Niven, she will be facing Jazzy Gabbert next week, thanks to the Ginny interference with the backstage interview. Ginny is definitely the best female heel in NXT. And I thought Isla Dawn and Piper Niven had a great opener match, but Isla Dawn needs something. She needs to get some wins or needs to really redefine her character. I really respect and appreciate her. I hope that some bigger things are planned ahead for her. Just saying. It's funny, though, how Saxon Huxley, He had a nice singles match, I believe, during this show, but it wasn't really nothing to take away from because he faced the wild card of Imperium, the wild man, excuse me, Alexander Wolf. And it looks like they're hyping Wolf versus Eli Dragunov. I guess Eli Dragunov was supposed to face Saxon originally, but he was injured. So I look forward to Dragunov versus Imperium's Alexander Wolf to come. Alexander Wolf is more calculated and dangerous, it seems, than ever now since joining Imperium, and no longer the crazy wild man of sanity. It's like a silent, just enforcer you go after, basically. Kind of like what Jack Hager looks like he's going to be for this faction led by Le Champion, Chris Jericho, on AEW Dynamite. But I digress. Then we move on to Friday Night SmackDown. I'm just going to keep it short, sweet, and simple here. This was a point I was burnt out on wrestling, but I was really looking forward to this for a couple of things. One, the set. Two, WWE Championship match. Yeah, the set is incredible. If we're looking at wars between Raw and SmackDown, set 1, check. Song 1, check. Even though I love Skill, but AC/DC is always freaking awesome. The opener was incredibly hot with Rock and Becky just thrashing Corbin both verbally and physically. I freaking loved that. And oh, but the rest of the show was just pure filler. I mean, this 2-on-2 women's match was way under delivered versus Madison Square Garden. And then you just had, okay, people spots. The Fiend comes out, he attacks Seth for a short period. That was a fun angle. I mean, they had to put the Fiend on SmackDown because both Fox and USA wanted it. Trying to hype up Hell in the Cell. This is one of the matches you put the most thought and effort into. So, I mean, the KO and Shane ladder match should have been on the paper, in my opinion. This was quick, squash, spot fest. KO won. I'm thankful for that. Maybe this means no more Shane. But we all know a McMahon's never gone forever. He'll be back. And then we get the quickest squash, I believe it was 8 seconds, with Brock and Kofi. No, that's it. F5 done. Only for Ray to escort Cain Velasquez to the ring. And now we got Cain versus Brock at Blood Money. Yeah, I really don't care. I'm honestly not caring about the WWE Championship anymore. I'm falling out of it. Sorry. Apparently, 205 Live was canceled this week. And we'll see what happens, like I said, with it next week. Is it over? Is it done for now? I don't know. Very curious. Anyway. Moving on to this Friday, though, we go into Impact Wrestling, Callahan's repercussions. He basically comes out with OB Security, says he's sorry, and hypes up his match at Bound for Glory. It wasn't meant for Melissa, but he's glad that it happened, which led to the Machine coming out, destroying everybody, going after Sammy, only to hit a fan, and he gets arrested. Jeez. And then, following this, we also get to Neil Dashwood with incredible momentum. She beat both women in this triple threat match. She's got the strongest momentum going into Bound for Glory. If her contract's really up at Bound for Glory, I don't see her winning the title, though. But I hope this actually pushes her to win the title, because she certainly deserves it. I just don't know what's next for Tenille Dashwood after Bound for Glory at this point. We get brawls at the press conference between Ken Shamrock and Moose. I feel like Moose still has bitten off more than he could chew. But interesting to see what happens there. And then Tessa gets her come up against OVE when Daga qualifies for the X Division title match, only to be attacked by OVE, but Tessa comes out for the save, which makes an impromptu tag match between Fulton and Chris versus Tessa and Daga next week. Looking forward to that. Kona gets laid up by the North. North are furious, so we're obviously going to get a tag title match Bound for Glory for that. And we're also getting more in the idea of Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin, who will face for a qualifying match at Prelude to Glory, I believe. So, we'll see what happens there. But those are my brief thoughts on this week in wrestling. As far as next week goes, I'm looking forward to Hell in the Cell, New Japan Road, the Premiere of Power, of course AEW Dynamite, NXT and USA, and also next week starts officially the WWE Draft, where we'll see if both these brands truly do shape up, truly become original, and truly become something new and different. But this week, I did not really see a whole lot of fresh and new, besides the sets and the Fiends from Raw and SmackDown. But I digress. Also, Tyson Fury, boxer. It looks like Big Show, Braun Strowman's going to be facing him. Maybe if Blood Money? We'll see. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Let me know what you watched in wrestling. Let me know what you think I should watch in wrestling. And let me know what you want to hear more of in wrestling from this YouTube channel. This is just a simple man's rant in wrestling. You want to know more about me? Know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. You want to follow me, talk anything wrestling? It's nodq.com/no on Twitter, or follow my simple YouTube channel here. Both will be in the description below. Support NoDQ, they're the reason I'm in YouTube. Support all you wrestling outs big and small. Let's keep growing this recipe together. Simple as that. King of Pro Wrestling predictions will be coming soon, as well as other content to this channel in collab with NoDQ. As always, I'd like to close. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy life. Enjoy wrestling. Tomorrow's guaranteed. Take care, and until the next video, whether here on NoDQ.com or somewhere else in YouTube, expect AEW highlights. Have a good night.